Here we are, day 13, not for the week. We're continuing in the wedding ceremony. It takes place in Song of Songs, chapter 3, verse 9, where it says, King Solomon made for himself a carriage. Made for himself a carriage, and he made it of wood from Lebanon. Its posts he made of silver, its base of gold, and so it does say he made this for himself. But what is happening here in the wisdom poetry, what scholars have showed us, is that she's recognizing that Solomon's bringing his best, that Solomon's bringing his strength into this relationship. And there is wisdom there is life if we can apply this principle into our marriage relationship, giving our best to our spouse, giving our strength to our spouse, right? Just hearing me say that, hearing myself say that, right? There's beauty in that. If I could do that for Jenny every day of my life, so many other things seem to get my strength, seem to get my best. But what God says, right, in a marriage relationship, if you want life, right, reserve your best, give your strength to your spouse. I remember when I was younger, I heard my dad speak, and he was sharing about how whenever he would come home from work, he would say a prayer before he got out of the car. God, help me to be the husband I need to be when I get home for my bride. And I've applied that prayer quite often, actually, in the last 18 years of our marriage. I wish I prayed that prayer every single time I got out of the car. Quite often I do. Right, but there's something different that takes place. Certainly, I'm trying to bring God in our relationship, like we talked about a couple days ago. Certainly, I am fighting for Jenny, but if I can sit there for a moment in prayer to God Almighty and say, God, help me to give my best to Jenny right now. Give me that extra measure. I've spent a lot of energy today, right, at work and with other things emotionally. Lord, Jenny needs it. Help me to be there for her. Right, and in a marriage relationship right now, it's not just about the husband. It's also about the wife saying that same prayer. Right, and if the spouses are separated, if you guys both work, right, or do your own thing, whatever's happening, if one stays home, I don't know what your relationship is like, right, but before you see each other, right, at the end of the day, that you could actually say that prayer, both of you. God, help me to give my strength, right, my emotions are spent, I am spent, right, I've been giving it all to everybody today, but now here they come back into my life, to be able to take a deep breath, right, and to be able to give your best to each other. And I think a question is, right, first of all, will you pray that prayer? God, help me to give my strength to my spouse, right before you see them. The second thing is, just when you see them, right, why not just give them a big, huge hug? Greet them when you guys both get home, or when one of you gets home and the other one's been home. Just give them a hug, right? Stop what you are doing. We know life is so important. There's so many details, right? But if we could just give our carriage of wood from Lebanon to each other, our strength, just one simple second, right? How much that would change if you guys could just embrace, if I could just embrace Jenny when I get home and just forget about everything else and just give her the best right there in that moment, right? So giving our best, giving our strength, reserving that for our spouse who doesn't want to do that, right? The question is, well, why don't we do that, right? What gets in the way? Go ahead and talk about that today. But how can we do that better? Right? How can you step it up, click it up in your marriage relationship with giving your best, giving your emotional strength, and maybe, just maybe, when you see each other, give each other a hug, not just a quick hug, but truly just let each other know that you have each other's backs and that you are willing and ready to give your strength to each other. So day 13, not for the week. Make sure you spend some time praying knee to knee, hand to hand, and just bow your heads. God, help us to give our strength to each other. Peace.